G'day, welcome back. 1914 Model T. We're taking her down to Busselton for a 2-day rally, so that ought to be fun. It does, however, need a bit of brass work, a bit of polishing, and there's a couple of other little jobs I wouldn't mind doing, so I'll bring you along for the ride. A small patch of rusty water there. I want to drain the rad. I think I addressed the leak in the radiator hose at the bottom. I'll soon tell. Yep. There's water in there. Let's drain it, put some fresh water in. The tap, it's a drain tap just under there. Now, as it's just rusty water, we're not going to cause any environmental harm. It's not coolant. Might need a bit of air compressor. Don't know if you can see this. Got a light in there, but this is probably an item of most concern on the car. It's this brass fan clutch. Brass fan hub, and this bearing here isn't great. But the belt, I don't usually run the belt too tight. As you can see, I can easily turn it by hand. So there's heaps of slippage. So what we'll do is we'll just keep the grease up to it. These are grease cups. So what you do is you fill the grease cup with grease, screw it back in, and it'll force grease into the bearing or the bush. You might do a couple of grease cups full. I don't care if the grease goes everywhere. At least it's getting to where it needs to go. Okay, not sure whether you can see that. You can see the grease leaking out the back of the bush there. That'll do us. There's also one here on the steering. Had to buy a new one of these. There's the one on the fan. Departed company somewhere. And again, you can see the grease coming out there. And we'll leave her with a full grease cup. Alright, so your view is directly down in the middle. Just get our floorboards out. This one I think is the easiest one to start. grease cup number 1. This is the universal joint. This second one here, not sure if you can see it. Oh, it's a bit loose, isn't it? This one here does a bronze bush that the actual drive shaft runs in. So screw it down to give it a gutful of grease, and then we'll just top up the cup. Drive shaft serviced. Well, it's not something you see every day. So I've been moving boxes around because I saw a nope rope go into my workshop. Just saw its tail disappearing. So I'm not sure what to do about that, but I'm not even sure whether it's out or not. So, oh well. Let's keep going. Now I did an oil change and cleaned the screen not long ago, but the reason I'm opening this up is that I want to adjust the brake, if you can call it that. The weak retarding system. Which is effectively a transmission brake. No brakes on the wheels. That's why this is all important. If you fail a drive shaft or a U-joint, you've got no brakes. And the diff for that matter. Which is why it's all been rebuilt. I did all of that. Go back to previous videos if you want to see. So there's a tiny amount of swarf on these magnets. I put these neodymium magnets in there. You can see they've collected a small amount because the oil absolutely sprays into this section here and runs down into the sump part of it. So we'll just lose that. We're not going to clean. So this is the one, which is this one. So we just need to just do this this nut here. Gives you heaps more brake, and it'll still move. You just don't want it dragging too much at all, so I want this to loosen off a little bit. Now what I need to check is this gland nut here. Is that felt loose? There you go. Solid as a rock. moving on. Alright, so it's right to that level. It's probably a bit overfull, but it will self-drain. It'll drain out into the road. Okay. I did forget the timer. Must give it a bit of lube. So how we lube the timer? There's a little port there. I'm pointing to it. It's a little hole. Now a bit of thin oil like ATF. You don't want too much, as it pours a litre in there. Okay, let's kick this girl in the guts. Turn the fuel tap on. And I'll set you up back here. Pull the handbrake on too. It's raring to go. Right, let's try starting it on magneto. Okay, let's go. Okay, air and tyres, and I'll shut her down and take her up to the house for a wash.
One eternity later.
Pretty. Just got to do the 2 lamps and the horn. There's 1 lamp at the back too, but I'm not going to record that. That gives you the idea. I could be here for hours if I wanted to. Okay, this is always slightly nerve-wracking. We are off to Busselton, about 3 hours away to the south. Alright, so we're here at the start of our rally. Looks like people are getting ready to move out. There's a 15 tourer. 26 and a 26.
On the airstrip.
On the airstrip?
Yeah, you can put it on the airstrip. Because I can't, it doesn't work.
But anyway, I mean, we use it. On the airstrip.
There you go, come on. Yeah.
Rex Barber showed up last.
Alright, we're doing 55 k's an hour, cruising speed. I think there's cattle on the road.
Two wagon tracks, there's no road.
We're here for lunch at a place called the Beer Garden. Beer Garden? Beer Farm. I think they're going to give us a tour.
Might be.
Oh, beer. It's our rescue trailer. Well, it's the evening of the first day of the rally, and we thought we'd just come down to Geograph Bay for a little look. Augusta's over there. Alright, morning of day 2. We're mustering currently. Weather's pretty windy, and I've had a couple of minor issues with the car. So the first was the seat here for the main jet. It walked out backwards. Every time I turned this way, it came out, and when I turned that way, it didn't go back in, so it just slowly came out. And the other was the up in here, up there, that thumb screw was loose, and I was getting intermittent complete ignition failure, so not enough to stop me on the side of the road, but plain. Anyway, let's go. Got a tailwind, and there's not much throttle on there. Minor issue with the lead car, I think. Seemed a little unreliable yesterday too. It broke down twice. Bloody 1926s.
If I put blue on the tank, will it never touch it down again?
Dirty fuel. Yeah, the poor fella had dirty fuel again. He had that yesterday too. Old tank, and leaving fuel sit in them for too long. One interesting thing I learnt is not to use the more expensive fuels like 98 or 95 octane. They have additives in there that don't sit well. So yeah, the fuel's not as stable as a 91. So, not that I've run more than 91 in it. I figure this thing could run off 50 octane fuel if you wanted it to. But we're going again, so it's good. Now we're going on a bit of a tour of his farm. I'm not sure what he grows, but we'll soon find out. There's these are they called proteas? Going bush. Yeah, it's flowers.
Where they've got their flowers and the plants, and they had
Pin cushions, the commonly this. Yeah, throw your soft ones here.
So this is the end of the rally. It's time to head back to home base, load up the trailer and get going. So that concludes this video. We're on our way home. Looks like about a 3-hour drive, depending on traffic. So thanks for joining, and